Good evening. It is a Wednesday again when we serve you news with the extra touch from NTA's top table. Tonight, we track infrastructure projects across the country. Rehabilitation, reconstruction, and initiation of projects echo. Also, there is a beautiful plant looming in Kano and other parts of the country exuding a sweet fragrance all the way to the bank for those who know what to do with it. The farming season is here, and those who plan to sow may reap more than they envisaged. It is a mixed pot of sauce tonight. But don't take my word for it. Just stand by. After all, the taste of the pudding is in the eating. Welcome to News Extra. I am Fatima Umaruba. And we begin with FEC. The Federal Executive Council has approved over 80 billion naira towards the construction, expansion and rehabilitation of various infrastructure projects in the Federal Capital Territory. Also approved is the procurement of transformers for enhanced power supply in parts of the country, as well as fertilizers as part of government's intervention for sustained agricultural production in the Northeast. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has the details.
The Federal Executive Council chambers in the State House once again comes alive as the nation's highest policy decision makers converge to consider memoranda for sustainable growth and development of the country. The high-level engagement chaired by President Muhammadu Buhari is the 10th for the year 2021 and 39th to be held virtually in the new normal. 10 of such memoranda from ministries, departments and agencies were approved, 6 of them for enhanced infrastructural development in the FCT.
The first memo is the revision of the contracts for the rehabilitation and expansion of the Outer Southern Expressway to Ring Road 1.
The project is to gulp 15.1 billion naira. Also to be executed is the construction of 15-kilometer left-hand service carriageway of the Outer Southern Expressway, Stage 2, from the Apo Cemetery Interchange to Wasa Junction at 11.4 billion naira. Phase 1 of the Federal Secretariat Complex in the heart of Abuja is also to be rehabilitated at 8.1 billion naira.
This is a secretariat that was commissioned in 1993, quite a long time ago. So we are doing massive rehabilitation of that. The fifth memo is the upward review of the contract sum for the extension of the Inner Southern Expressway, starting from the CBN right through to the behind the diplomatic quarters, busting out at the massive roundabout at Nnamdi Azikiwe Expressway, continuing towards the expressway that is popularly known as road leading to Galadimawa. So that's a 10-lane project. By the time it is completed, it's going to be parallel to the airport expressway.
47.6 billion naira has been approved for the project, while 131.4 million naira and 110.1 million naira respectively for consultancy services in respect of the Independence and Constitution Avenue and surrounding roads in Abuja, as well as the total overhaul of a massive generator for Abuja Environmental Protection Board. The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development was also granted approval to procure organic liquid fertilizers valued at 922.8 million naira under the Emergency Agricultural Intervention Project for states affected by insurgency and devastating floods.
The objective is to support these states, Yobe, Adamawa and Borno, in their agricultural activities, and we're not selling it to them. It's for free. And those states that were not affected by the insurgency, they have already been given this fertilizer in 2019 and 2020.
The council also approved 3.2 billion naira for the procurement of 4 transformers for the Transmission Company of Nigeria.
These transformers are needed to replace the transformer in system for the past 35 years in order to improve quality of power supply to the national grid.
The Minister of Power, Salim Mamman, was also given the go-ahead to award a 155.2 million naira contract for the production and delivery of 1 million serialized meters for 3-meter test stations at Oshodi, Kaduna and Port Harcourt. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Good news, you may say, as the federal government has taken another bold step in building the resilience of communities affected by years of insurgency in Yobe State. How, you may ask? Well, through the rehabilitation and construction of Buniadi Damaturu Gashua Railway. Indeed, this is to enhance socio-economic activities along the Eastern Railway Corridor. Yunusa Suleiman, just back from Buniadi, is a semi-urban commercial town with one of the oldest railway lines in Northeast region, unravels the anticipated impact of the project to communities along the axis.
Buniadi is about 50 kilometers away from Damaturu, the Yobe State capital, and 150 kilometers to Maiduguri, Borno State. Is one out of the 2 major towns in the state with railway lines said to have been inaugurated since 1964. The plan, as announced by federal government to resuscitate the old railway line in Buniadi, which is expected to create a new corridor by linking Damaturu and Gashua towns, is seen as a strategic innovation in the transportation sector in the Northeast zone. The move by federal government, according to many, is a dream come true, as it will open up more communities and enhance the socio-economic activities of the state. Alikaja Giwa, a 70-year-old butcher from Bauchi State, who was once displaced due to insurgency and now returns to Buniadi, reminisces with nostalgia how the town was vibrant, with railway line functioning during his more than 40 years stay in the town. Hence, describes the federal government intention as a good omen to the people in the area, state, and the country as a whole.
Businessman can transfer his own goods from here to Gashua, from here to Damaturu very easily.
Building a new one from Gashua, I think it's a very welcome development. This will open up our local areas. It will increase and boost our economic.
It was gathered that the existing rail line in the historic town went into comatose for about 15 years. In Buniadi, the headquarters of Gujuba local government area, Yobe State, Yunusa Suleiman, NTA News.
To achieve renewable energy towards boosting electricity supply in the country, the federal government has completed the abandoned 10 megawatts Katsina wind farm project ready for inauguration. The project has 31 out of the 37 wind turbines fully operational with a capacity of 8.25 megawatts injected into the national grid. Shehu Adamu tells us more.
The 10-megawatt Katsina wind farm project at Lambarimi village along Katsina to Kano highway started in 2005 when led President Umar Musa Yar'Adua was the governor of the state before the federal government took over the project in 2007. The project consists of 37 number wind turbines with a rated power of 275 kilowatts each and 4 feeder wind turbines generators, which are expected to generate 10 megawatts of electricity to the national grid through 315 kVA step-up transformers at Umar Musa Yar'Adua University, as well as 33 by 11 kV substation located within Katsina town. At present, only 31 out of the 37 wind turbines are fully operational, supplying a total of 8.25 megawatts of electricity to the national grid. 5 out of the remaining 6 turbines were vandalized and 1 undergoing repairs.
The Katsina State's people stand better chance of benefiting from this project because the 37 number wind turbines injects at optimal generation, injects 10 megawatts into the grid. So it's going to be a very, very good relief and boost to our power system.
Despite financial challenges, the President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration in 2017 injected about 1 billion naira into the budget of the Federal Ministry of Power to ensure the completion of the project to achieve the administration's objectives of renewable energy to bridge the power deficit in the country. The 10-megawatt Katsina wind farm project, which was abandoned by successive administrations in the country due to the security challenges involving one of the expatriate staff of the pioneer French contracting firm, took the intervention of the indigenous engineers for its completion, now awaiting inauguration.
I believe that this will boost the economy of the state in no small measure.
We are very grateful as our economic activities will be enhanced and we are going to get respite as Ramadan fasting is approaching.
Assuring the people of Katsina State that Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps and Katsina State Command in particular will provide adequate security.
In Katsina, Shehu Adamu, NTA News.
In the meantime, the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing has stepped up supervision of ongoing highway reconstructions and rehabilitations, putting contractors on their toes to deliver. Abdullahi Mohammed was part of a supervisory mission to Suleja Mina and Lambata bid the roads.
We are suffering before.
That is a proper definition of the pains of driving from Suleja to Mina. But that is now for the archives.
But now we are starting okay, inshallah.
Transit on the 95-kilometer Suleja-Mina road is now 40 kilometers dual smooth drive, with the rest of the single carriageway without potholes. This is one of the dividends of sustained, unannounced supervision, which yields results.
It's not only the 40 kilometers, you have an interchange, two interchanges. One at the point where it links to Abuja Cardinal Road, another one along the way, and we have 3 bridges. They have completed these interchanges and they have done the civil works for the interchanges. They are now doing the art work, the concrete work are all completed.
Lambata Lapai Bida Road, more than 120 kilometers. Art work ongoing. Other part of it tarred already, and it's a smooth ride here.
Here again, 20 kilometers of the road is completed with assurances by the contractors of delivering on target. In Abuja, Abdullahi Mohammed, NTA News.
And we'll head to Akure now, where the federal government, through the Federal Roads Maintenance Agency, FEMA, is reconstructing and rehabilitating 4 major arterial roads across some local government areas of Ondo State. The zonal coordinator of FEMA South 2, Benedict Amarube, who announced the steering and inspection of the roads, said they will be completed before the rainy season fully sets in. Toyin Batire has the update.
The 4 intervention roads are before now in deplorable condition, making them nightmare to motorists and spot for kidnappers to carry out their nefarious activities. Contractors have been fully mobilized on the Sobe Okeduse-Ogbese River Road, Owo Ikare Arigidi Ekiti Road, and the Okitipupa Ore Akure Ekiti Road. Work on the Sobe Okeduse-Ogbese River Road is nearing completion, and the zonal coordinator who inspected the road expressed satisfaction at the level and quality of work done.
It's a very quality job being done. Federal Road Maintenance Agency is doing the same type of thing you are witnessing here in almost all the states of the country.
The progress of works now, I think in 10 days' time, I believe this project would have been completed.
The number of failed portions on the road have been rehabilitated, and motorists commended the federal government for the timely intervention on major roads in the state.
Before the road is rough, but now we are happy for the federal government for the hard working.
When it reached time of rainy season, erosion destroy everything, and they affect many houses. But as they can't do it now, I thank God.
The FEMA zonal coordinator is expected to visit more other FEMA project sites in Edo and Delta states. There are 14 federal government roads in Ondo State spanning 713 kilometers. In Akure, Toyin Batire, NTA News.
Here is another agricultural intervention story from the Senate. A constructive dialogue on how to source for funds to assist farmers and ensure sustainable agricultural development in Nigeria. As a step towards realizing this, the Senate has passed the National Agriculture Development Fund Establishment Bill.
Economic diversification dominated Senate plenary this week, from the Nigerian Mineral Development Corporation Establishment Bill to the National Agriculture Development Fund Bill. The Agricultural Development Fund, when established, is expected to ensure food security, facilitate agricultural research and extension, and see to the establishment of agricultural clusters and processing zones.
With the government's commitment to make agriculture the mainstay of our economy, it is only right to make enabling laws for the purpose of providing sustainable funding for agricultural development in Nigeria.
It should read, the chairman and members shall be appointed by the president, period.
When we talk about farmer association, means we added livestock, fisheries, poultry, all together to form only one association.
This is one bill that can transform the economy of Nigeria. This is one bill that can provide employment opportunities for Nigerians, especially our youth.
The University Teaching Hospital Act Amendment Bill, sponsored by Senator Aishatu Dahiru, Families of Fallen Servicemen Support Fund Establishment Bill by Senator Patrick Abba Moro, the bill seeking to stop open defecation, sponsored by Senator Clifford Odia, and the Police Service Commission Act Amendment Bill, sponsored by Senator Emmanuel Boacha, all passed second reading.
Thereby giving full recognition to the teaching hospital sought to be included in the Principal Act through this bill.
Complaint will be given a place to voice concerns outside the police, and they will be heard and treated with dispatch.
The Federal College of Forestry Wawa Zange Establishment Bill, sponsored by Senator Saidu Alkali, and the one sponsored by Senator Chukwuka Otazi on the Court of Appeal Act Amendment Bill, also passed second reading. Senator Ifeanyi Ubah drew the attention of the Senate to the urgent need to investigate what he described as unregulated Nigerian retail sector and measures to check it. Senate has confirmed the appointment of Haliru Baba as Controller General of the Nigerian Correctional Service. Senate has urged the Inspector General of Police to carry out full investigation on the recent election crisis in Ekiti State. This followed a motion moved by Senator Biodun Olujimi. Senate has adjourned plenary to 13th of April 2021 for Easter break. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA.
For close to 2 decades, now 18 years to be precise, this government agency has fought tooth and nail with criminals in the financial realm. Lately, it has recovered looted funds in local and hard currency, which this government is channeling into areas of need. The House of Representatives feels this agency should be motivated to do more and has commenced a legislative process to that effect. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports on the EFCC Amendment Bill, which just passed second reading.
The bill seeking to amend the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission Act has, among others, a provision to enable the EFCC retain a percentage of recovered loot to fund its operations and a time frame within which a person appointed as acting executive chairman could occupy the office in that capacity.
The structuring and composition of the Commission by including members of independent organizations in its membership, establishments and Operation Review Committee, Witness Protection Unit.
House Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila made this observation on one of the amendments.
Honorable Osai's portion of the bill is that anybody that is convicted should be disqualified from holding office in the bill. But I'm saying that that has to be a constitutional amendment, at least that portion of it.
Other bills passed as second reading include a bill to establish Federal Polytechnic in Renu, Kano State, sponsored by Kabiru Alhassarurum, a bill to establish Federal College of Agriculture, Ishagu, Abia State, from Benjamin Okezie Kalu, a bill to establish Institute of Economists of Nigeria, sponsored by Solomon Maren, and a bill to establish National Youth Development Commission, sponsored by Karu Simon Elisha and 3 others. House members adopted a motion from Representative Khadija Ibrahim and 5 others, urging authorities to assist victims of Boko Haram attack in parts of Gujuba, Yobe State.
Efforts of security operatives have been commended for daily patrolling the roads. However, there is need to improve the current strategies of curbing the insistent attacks.
The House is set to conduct an audit probe of funds expended on the rehabilitation of refineries.
NNPC had allegedly spent about 25 billion in turnaround maintenance of refineries in the past 25 years.
And as the world marks Tuberculosis Day, the House suggested urgent intervention from government to curb the spread of the disease. Part of Wednesday's proceedings during House plenary was the first reading of 17 bills, while reports on 8 bills were considered and approved at the Committee of the Whole, including the report on the bill seeking to amend the National Oil Spill Detection and Response Agency Act from the National Assembly. Lami Ali, NTA News.
The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, has formally reacted to what he called the unfair assessment on the fight against corruption in Nigeria by Transparency International, saying the report it released recently is not a true reflection of the prevailing situation under the presidency. This was while addressing newsmen after the meeting of the Federal Executive Council. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu has the report.
Take this rating seriously. So we actually went and analyzed the ratings, and we found that there's been some gaps. Either we have not forwarded enough data, or they have not, analyzed such data. Because we found it strange that the country's rating in certain areas remained the same for a period of 10 years.
The Information and Culture Minister, Lai Mohammed, maintains that giant strides have been made in not only minimizing corruption in Nigeria, but also the recovery of stolen assets both within and outside the country.
The government has put in place various reforms in fighting corruption. But some of these reforms will take time to yield the desired result, because the matrix used by TI is not just about graft alone. It includes how transparent or how opaque the services are.
He said following the release of 2019 Transparency International Corruption Perception Index, for instance, the government initiated reforms to improve ease of doing business indices, including making sure that people get to the polls and clear their goods in good time, expressing optimism that when these reforms start yielding fruits, the perception will improve.
I believe that it is more important to put in place preventive mechanism rather than prosecution. And this preventive mechanism that we put in place actually include the programs launched by the ICPC, which is called the National Ethics Policy, which addresses integrity issues on all sectors of the polity and is directly linked to the pillar of national anti-corruption strategy. We believe that overall, by the time our various reforms in the areas of either the ease of doing business and other preventive measures, by the time they start taking effect, our rating in the next year of TI would have substantially improved.
For now, the minister insists that the rating by Transparency International does not reflect correctly the efforts of government in trying to curb corruption in Nigeria. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has sent Nigeria's best best wishes to the people of Greece as they celebrate the 200th anniversary of the founding of the Hellenic Republic, reflecting on the long-standing ties between both countries. President Buhari appreciated the significant investment Greek nationals have made in the food and agro-allied industry in Nigeria. The president praised the indelible marks of Greek ingenuity and scholarship in the world of arts, literature, science, sports, and industry, and praised that this august occasion, which will surely bring fond memories of the forebears of the Greek nation, will inspire the present generation to greater successes. He wished President Katerina Sakellaropoulou and the people of Greece celebrating on March 25 in Nigeria, Greece, and around the world a happy Independence Day. Now let's take a breather. When we return, it is a taste of sweet medicine in Abeokuta, while women in Asaba get a shot in the arm in more ways than one. Please stay.
We just having a good time, and I'm feeling so good tonight.
Where you did? I dey come now. You go see me now. You go.
Call your body and everybody, yeah. Make we start to the corner.
Where you did now? You go see me now.
Everybody they dance.
Where you did now? Oh. You go see me now.
You want
I'm fine, sir. Even me, I surprised.
Hey, where you at? Go Mexico, you go Jericho, I'm gonna let you go.
Hello, how are you?
Tell us one truth nobody knows.
I like to steam it from my mama's pot.
Glow, the best data plans in town. Dial *777#. A bunch of broomsticks symbolize immense strength in unity of numbers. APC, unarguably the largest political party this side of sub-Saharan Africa, strategically chose the broom to convey all that the party stands for. Unity, strength, and diversity. In the APC, everyone matters. President Muhammadu Buhari are making giant strides in the areas of infrastructure, such as railways, road networks, strategic bridges, more schools, hospitals, provision of funding for agriculture and SMEs. No administration has made so much investment in youth, women, and people living with disabilities. Take a stand today. Welcome to the APC.
This message is sponsored by the caretaker chairman of the All Progressive Congress and the executive governor of Yobe State, Alhaji Mai Malabuni.
Mommy is ready to receive me a bundle of joy. Mommy is making my home cleaner and safer. We are Dettol, Dettol.
Illnesses can happen at home too. That's why Dettol and me together will make my baby's home safe and to protect from up to 100 illness-causing germs. That's why moms want to be Dettol. Dettol Sure.
We are Dettol, Dettol Sure.
There's enough to go around.
With Mr. Chef seasoning cubes and powders, every meal is something to look forward to. Me first. Mr. Chef, creating delightful memories.
Ooh la la. Sweet nutrition.
As you adjust to the new realities for operating your business and engaging with your customers, let us help you transform your business into a digital powerhouse capable of adapting and taking advantage of today's opportunities. With our best-in-class array of digital solutions, you can conduct your business, receive payments from your customers, and perform transactions quickly, safely, and conveniently, because we've got you covered with the right people, technology, and service offerings. us take your business to its zenith. Zenith Bank, in your best interest.
Pension fund administrator, we soft, make sense, we care for me, shy. No be the time when story go enter the matter when it's time to deliver. Oh no. The brand is sure them no go stress you. Call them then they accessible. Customer care where they on point. You no go regret when you try, of course. Profitable investment, everything is just a blend. If you know what's good for you, my guy, make you choose premium pension today. Make that switch to premium pension. Premium pension. Make that switch to premium pension.
Join over 700,000 satisfied members and enjoy the premium experience at our offices across the 36 states in Nigeria, including the FCT. Call 094615-700-704 to make the switch today. Premium pension. Active today, premium tomorrow.
Kehinde suffers from indigestion. His twin Taiyi suffers from heartburn. Sometimes it's the other way around, or both. That's why they use Gaviscon Double Action. It soothes within 3 minutes and lasts for up to 4 hours. For double relief from heartburn and indigestion, Gaviscon Double Action.
Good to have you back on News Extra. The presidency wishes to make it clear that there is no rift between President Muhammadu Buhari and his strong ally, Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu. The president and Asiwaju have a very strong commitment to the All Progressives Congress, APC, towards bringing change. And this is a commitment they have made to the Nigerian people. A statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, says, recent reports of a rift between the two leaders of APC are false and the handiwork of some media mischief makers. It further states that President Buhari sees Asiwaju Bola Tinubu as one of the most respected political leaders in the country who has stuck to his principles in the face of all adversities. He was instrumental to the formation, growth and development of the APC into a formidable political party, and the political alliance is waxing even stronger. If the Asiwaju is not a frequent face in the Aso Rock Villa, it is on account of the fact that he is not a cabinet member of this government, which does not make him less a friend to the president and this administration. Now we'll head to Gombe now. Towards improving the quality of life of the youths and children of the Gombe state, the government has signed a memorandum of understanding with the federal government for the At-Risk Children project. Zara Umar Adamu reports that the project is to be executed under the office of the Special Advisor to the President on Social Investment.
The one risk factor that makes children vulnerable is poverty. As according to statistics, 428 million children 0 to 17 years live in extreme poverty. 2 million children live in institutional care, and 218 million children engage in various forms of explosive labor. It is for these reasons that the Office of the Special Assistant to the President on Social Investment signed an MOU with Gombe State Government to strengthen at-risk children rights and also ensure provision of quality services for orphans.
We want to introduce vocations that are relevant and that would have off-takers here in Gombe, so that the work that they do, they are not made redundant after they have become expert at it.
This memorandum of understanding signed today will help strengthen the at-risk children's rights and also ensure provision of quality services for orphans and vulnerable children.
The At-Risk Children project in Gombe State will require collaborative effort of relevant agencies to be able to make youth and children useful citizens, which the state government assures of its support.
I would like to assure you and the members of your team that you have the full support of Gombe State government under my leadership. I look forward to a successful kick-off of the project in Gombe State, and I pledge that this administration will endeavor to fulfill all obligations.
Immediate implementation of the MOU will be the best step towards reversing the disturbing statistics of vulnerable children in the state and the country. Zara Umar Adam, NTA News.
As part of efforts to ensure reconciliation, resettlement and reintegration of affected communities by insurgency in the Northeast region, stakeholders are advocating for community inclusion and peace building for sustainable growth in the country. Ruth Aguele reports that this was at a 2-day symposium organized by the Center for Humanitarian Dialogue.
I think there is a problem.
Social dialogue has always been a tool in solving problems globally. Key players at this symposium are charting a way forward through dialogue to address challenges faced by communities in the Northeast region as a result of insurgency. The need to protect the rights of women and children to be given due consideration were part of concerns for the Minister of Women Affairs, Dame Pauline Talon, who was represented.
This kind of symposium is supposed to be nationwide. It's not supposed to be centered to only Northeast, because women and children are the most affected.
The prize for peace is priceless, and the call for unity, irrespective of religious affiliations, was strongly echoed.
Our young men and women, children, are taught to hate those of different faiths. As a Nigerian, it worries me, and I always ask myself, how and where did we get it wrong? So my appeal is, while considering the issue of insurgency in the Northeast, we should also give a thought to these questions. Why do we have such religious and ethnic conflicts in Nigeria?
We believe that together we can make very firm strides in supporting this aspect of communication, which is so key.
To ensure sustainable reintegration in the Northeast region, experts believe engaging communities through inclusion processes will have a strong influence on nation building. In Abuja, Ruth Aguele, NTA News.
Let's talk health. The clock is ticking is the theme of the 2021 World Tuberculosis Day. The theme is aimed at conveying the fact that the world is running out of time to act on the commitment made by world leaders to end TB by December 2022. Experts say this is critical, especially in the context of the coronavirus pandemic, which has put the progress of efforts to combat TB and other diseases at risk. In this report, Basi Ita-Ikpan captures the essence of the yearly commemoration of the day.
Tuberculosis is said to be one of the world's deadliest infectious killer diseases. As WHO report shows globally, an estimated 4,000 people lost their lives to tuberculosis daily. Nigeria is ranked first in Africa and sixth globally in the 2020 WHO TB report of high TB burden countries in the world. Tuberculosis Day is therefore aimed at raising public awareness about the devastating health, social and economic consequences of TB.
Low TB case detection remains a major challenge in the TB control efforts in Nigeria, with the country only detecting 27%.
Engagement plan we have now scaled up to all states. This has demonstrated incremental value to TB notification.
TB is said to be airborne, with babies at higher chance of being infected because their body defenses are not strong. It affects several parts of the body, with symptoms ranging from coughing for more than 2 weeks to weight loss.
Like when you find changes in your body, especially coughing for more than 2 weeks, please, I advise you go for TB test. The test is free of charge. The treatment is free of charge.
Disease experts say is preventable, treatable, and curable only if detected early. Basi Taikpan, NTA News.
While the Nigeria Governors Forum joins global community to observe the World Tuberculosis Day with renewed commitment to initiate and implement more interventions to contain the airborne disease, which approximately accounts for more than 150,000 deaths annually. In a statement signed by its chairman and governor of Ekiti State, Dr. Kayode Fayemi says, the forum, in collaboration with other stakeholders, are working to address challenges by strengthening the capacity of state TB program and improved health facilities to provide TB services. The forum says the theme for 2021 celebration, "The Clock is Still Ticking," will further activate multilateral support to meet the 2030 deadline for the elimination of tuberculosis in Nigeria and appealed for continued efforts in containing COVID-19. In conventional medicine, outpatients are mandated to visit the hospital and spend some hours before being attended to by doctors for treatment of diseases. However, the outbreak of the novel coronavirus has given credence to the trends of online medical consultations, whereby doctors are linked directly with patients through the use of technology in rendering medical services, eliminating physical contact. Lekon Agbode takes us to Abeokuta, Ogun State capital, where a telemedicine facility was inaugurated.
It's in the facility named after President Muhammadu Buhari. The center now has capacity to provide healthcare services to patients from the comfort of their homes, thereby limiting exposure of doctors and other health professionals to patients.
A telemedicine will be an integral part of it that allows not only patients to consult doctors, but makes it possible for caregivers at PHCs, community health extension workers, nurses, to consult a doctor and ask for advice in the course of looking after their own patient.
Members of the National Assembly, governors, ministers, among other dignitaries, lauded the federal government for providing technical support at the nation's health institutions for quality healthcare services to Nigerians.
We also continue to use the appropriate process to fund projects that bridge the infrastructure gap and ensure that essential healthcare facilities are available across the country.
This place is supposed to train doctors on how to use the digital network, supposed to train nurses.
Medical Director of the Center, Professor Adewale Musa Olomu, pleaded with the leadership of the National Assembly to pass into law the bill before it canvassing for the establishment of the University of Medicine and Medical Sciences.
This university will be established in no distant time, and this hospital will serve as the teaching hospital to that university.
Former Senator representing Ogun Central Senatorial District, Lariwaju Tejosho, facilitated the conference center and the ambulance as his constituency project when he was serving at the National Assembly. In Abeokuta, Lekon Agbode, NTA News.
We all know that the coronavirus pandemic has come with its attendant challenges, particularly for people with underlying health issues. And this report, Veronica Emmanuel, examines some of the respiratory illnesses associated with COVID-19 and how sufferers of these ailments could cope.
Medical experts have listed asthma, bronchitis, and pneumonia as the respiratory illness that COVID-19 infection can ride on to cause serious illness or even death. With the second wave of the pandemic and the new strain of the virus causing more concern, people with underlying respiratory issues, experts say, need to go beyond the normal and make conscious effort at avoiding COVID-19. 45-year-old Oruwe Erunse has been an asthmatic patient since childhood. She has learned to cope with this ailment over time, but her recent COVID-19 scare left her not just shaken but devastated.
When this COVID pandemic came up, I had a very serious illness. Initially, I was scared to do a test. My parents just said, you have no choice. Let's just go and test and see. So I did the first COVID test. The symptoms were like that of COVID. I was scared, but the doctor said it's not totally, they can't call it COVID. But they had to still watch me. They had to quarantine me for the normal 2 weeks. As God will have it, the doctors came and did another check. I said, there's nothing wrong with me.
Oruwe's experience may be one out of many, but the story of Titus Ibekwe was frightening. The confirmation of the test result as positive left him with a sense of despondency.
I was one of those in the forefront of campaigning against COVID-19 when eventually I tested positive, but I wasn't surprised because when I looked back at the symptoms that I was having, at a stage, I knew that everything was pointing towards COVID-19.
Medical practitioners who treat COVID-19 cases highlight some of what sufferers of respiratory illness should look out for.
Wash their hands with soap and water and alcohol-based sanitizer. Avoid crowded places and places that are poorly ventilated, because the more they're in contact with people, the more likely they're going to be infected with COVID-19.
Underlying illnesses such as chronic respiratory diseases and cardiac disorders, even renal impairment, and those that have cancers, these are factors that do not augur very well with COVID-19 infection. It made such people more predisposed to developing complications and getting at that critical stage.
For Oruwe, Titus and others, taking the vaccine and observing non-pharmaceutical protocols is not negotiable. In Abuja, Veronica Emmanuel, NTA News.
Thank you, Veronica. It is an establishment fact that implementation of government policies and programs in most cases are dependent on the level of public awareness. It is in view of this that the National Orientation Agency and partners are holding a 3-day workshop for selected persons from ministries, departments and agencies of government as well as the private sector. Kenneth Nanim has that.
These are personnel from the planning, research and development, monitoring and evaluation, as well as the media department of various ministry departments and agencies of government. They are sharing ideas on how best to create leakages for enhancing the impact of government policies on national development.
There is a need for all the agencies, the heads, particularly of monitoring and evaluation, and the various departments, the heads to come together so that they'll all be speaking with one voice. And the more you speak with one voice, the more people listen to you.
Government is here to serve the people. Government, when they come out with policy programs and activities, is to enhance the welfare of the citizens. So, but when people are not aware of the benefits of these programs, so that is you see them kicking against some of the programs, even though it is meant to enhance their welfare.
Because anytime government makes a statement, there are reactions in different quarters. Most of the time, those reactions don't get back to government.
Keynote speaker and former Army spokesperson, Brigadier General Kukasheka Usman, and other speakers harped on collaboration between agencies and citizens' engagement as key to achieving impactful policies for development, as well as utilize the Freedom of Information Act to monitor and evaluate implementation.
With this understanding, with this synergy, people will be more informed and they can be able to, come out with proper processes of policy formulation.
It is expected that at the end of this 3-day workshop, the participants would have identified the existing gaps between government policies and the people with a view to bridging such gaps through orientation and feedback mechanism for national development. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
I figure you like figures, so when we return, we have figures to figure out together. In Kano, hibiscus is now more than a beautiful plant, as its admirers could be smiling to the bank. Bank of Industry receive August visitors in March, plus a boost for Africa from BUA. Please stay.
We're a game where every choice brought you closer to your dream. Would you stay where you're unappreciated? Or would you somehow take that first step to changing things for yourself? At ARM Pensions, it's not about who you are, it's about who you play with. Join the team that appreciates you. Switch
suffers from indigestion. His twin Taiyi suffers from heartburn. Sometimes it's the other way around, or both. That's why they use Gaviscon Double Action. It soothes within 3 minutes and lasts for up to 4 hours. For double relief from heartburn and indigestion, Gaviscon Double Action.
Moments to laugh with Indomie. Moments to learn with Indomie. Moments to care with Indomie. Moments to share with.
Super moms create special family moments with their love. Celebrate these delicious moments with Indomie noodles. Indomie noodles, tasty nutrition, good for you.
Mommy is ready to receive me a bundle of joy. Mommy is making my home cleaner and safer. We are Dettol, Dettol Sure.
Illnesses can happen at home too. That's why Dettol and me together will make my baby's home safe and to protect from up to 100 illness-causing germs. That's why moms want to be Dettol, Dettol Sure.
We are Dettol, Dettol Sure.
ITF, developing the nation's human resource.
Mommy is back.
Guess what's inside?
Chocolate. Biscuit.
Our new toothpaste, Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection.
Why are we changing our toothpaste?
Because with Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection, I can be sure your teeth are cavity-free.
Cavity? What cavity?
Let me show you.
Most toothaches are caused by tooth holes called cavities. When you brush daily with Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection, its expert formula locks natural calcium in our teeth and helps protect them from cavity.
It also has natural mint for minty fresh breath every day.
Mom, can I eat chocolates now?
As long as you brush with Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection.
Colgate is the world's most chosen toothpaste.
Colgate locks calcium in.
Keeps cavities out!
Recommended by the Nigerian Dental Association.
This vaccine is safe and it has been certified safe and usable by NAFTA.
Thanks so much for staying. Afrexim Bank, Nexim partner with a $50 million investment to support Nigeria's exports as NSE All-Share Index climbed 0.98% to finish slightly above 39,000 basis points. We have Musa Abubakar with business news. It's over to you, Musa.
Thank you very much, Fatima.
The African Export-Import Bank, Afrexim Bank, and the Nigeria Export-Import Bank have expressed readiness to mobilize $50 million as joint project preparation fund for investment in Nigeria. This was contained in a statement issued by both organizations in Abuja this Wednesday. The joint project preparation fund will support public and private sector investors by providing technical and financial support services that will result in a steady pipeline of well-structured projects that banks and other financial institutions can readily finance. The equities market closed Wednesday's session on the positive, boosting confidence amongst investors. The NSE All-Share Index inched up 0.98% to close 39,085.78 basis points, a market capitalization at 20.4 trillion naira. 361.9 million shares valued at 5.7 billion naira were traded in 4,018 deals. UBN Guarantee Trust Bank and Veritas Capital Assurance were the most active shares at the end of the day's transaction. Well, that's business news. It's over to you, Fatima.
Well, thank you so much, Musa, for the business package. Now, Nigerian industrialist and founder of Boa Group, Alhaji Abdul Samad Rabiu, has launched the Abdul Samad Rabiu Africa Initiative, ASR Africa. The scheme is a program aimed at boosting key sectors across Africa. Abdullahi Musa Salija reports.
Abdul Samad Rabiu's ASR Africa initiative put an outlay of $100 million yearly in Africa for social development, starting from this year to cover interventions in sectors such as education and health. $50 billion will be dedicated to boosting these sectors in Nigeria, while a further $50 billion will be spread across the continent. The ASR Africa initiative also announced a grant of 1 billion naira each to 6 Nigerian universities spread across the nation's geopolitical zones. The grants are expected to focus on the construction and upgrading of infrastructure where applicable. The university to benefit from the first phase of the intervention fund include Ahmad Bello University Zaria, University of Maiduguri, University of Nigeria, University of Benin, University of Ilorin, and University of Ibadan. The grant will be directed toward projects that will be delivered by the ASR Africa initiative for the project duration. Abdullahi Musa Sleja, NTA News.
As Nigeria's economic drivers continue to explore untapped resources for diversification and enhancing the economic base of the nation, multi-agency collaboration is on course towards developing a roadmap for harnessing the export potentials of hibiscus flowers, popularly known as zobo. Awal Salihu reports that the interstate collaboration initiated by the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development seeks to upskill cultivation and marketing of hibiscus flowers to sustainable export viability.
Hibiscus is an important export crop that is very rich in mineral and vitamin required for improving human health, but its production is occasioned by low turnover and poor practices due to low awareness of its vast export potentials among the farming populace. Hence, the country exports only 2,000 containers of hibiscus flower yearly. This figure is not encouraging, especially now that the federal government has shifted its attention to agriculture for job creation and income generation.
To ensure that producers follow the good agricultural practices, the GAP, to ensure that processors follow the processes that are required, to ensure that marketers, the packaging is done properly, and then our exports is not hindered any longer.
This meeting, attended by stakeholders from Kano, Jigawa, Bauchi, and Gombe states, is therefore to ensure the development of a policy document and a sustainable roadmap for the industry to thrive. This is in addition to exploring efforts to generate foreign exchange through awareness creation on its health benefits and industrial use.
What this meeting is going to offer to us, I want to believe that most countries that reject our product will come back looking for our products.
To meet together to fashion out how to drive this important commodity that is a very big foreign exchange earner and providing job and employment for Nigeria.
The issue of controlling the quality of hibiscus for it to be marketable outside. These are all the areas that government must come in properly.
The economic values of hibiscus, according to stakeholders, if properly harnessed, will surface any agricultural produce in Nigeria in terms of foreign exchange. In Kano, Awal Salisu, NTA News.
And from Kano, we head to Lagos, where the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Timi Silva, says any fuel marketer selling petrol above government-approved price is a criminal and will be sanctioned by relevant government agencies. He said this in Lagos shortly after presiding over the 2021 first quarter ministerial meeting of the ministry. Adeni Taiwo reports.
The rise in the price of crude oil in the international market always comes with mixed feelings for Nigerians who may have to contend with commensurate rise in the cost of imported refined petroleum products, especially now that the federal government is contemplating full deregulation of the downstream oil sector. Addressing journalists in Lagos after presiding over the 2021 first quarter ministerial meeting of the Ministry of Petroleum Resources, the minister, Timi Silva, said the position of the federal government on pump price of petrol has not changed from what he announced 2 weeks ago.
We understand that some people, and that is criminal, are beginning to sell products for more than the approved price. The price remains 162 naira per litre.
He said any fuel marketer selling the product above the 162 to 165 naira government-approved price band will face sanctions from relevant agencies. He commended the Federal Executive Council for approving a turnaround maintenance of Port Harcourt refinery, describing recent efforts to embark on comprehensive repairs of existing refineries in the country as the right move.
Even if we are going to sell it later, even if we're going to concession it later, it is better to have a refinery that is already working before you think of the next step.
The sector is also leveraging ICT to monitor movement of petroleum products by marketers in order to check sharp practices in the distribution and sales of refined products.
All you need to do is to dial, and if you're a marketer, as you dial to get that information, we get it in our enterprise data warehouse. If we don't receive that information from you when you go to load in that particular depot, you will not be allowed to take.
Petroleum Industry Bill is also said to be on course. In Lagos, Adeni Taiwo, NTA News.
Established as a financial institution to provide assistance through loans to companies, industries and startups at an affordable rate, the Bank of Industry has continued to serve as a bridge builder between entrepreneurs and survival of businesses in the country. Chairman House Committee on Industry, Enitan Dolakbo Badru, while on oversight visit to some beneficiaries of loan from the Bank of Industry, reiterated the need for the financial institution to maintain its excellent banking services. Aboladi Salami has that.
This fashion garments factory, with a work strength of over 100 youths, should have been moribund or management downsized in numbers post-COVID-19 pandemic. But the situation is different, as the intervention fund provided by the Bank of Industry has helped sustain their business operations and scale up their output.
Of course, before now we had intervention fund, and we have used that also to increase capacity of staff, increase competence level. We have brought in foreign technical expertise, and then they are helping greatly.
The House Committee members on Industry, in their interaction, where the members of staff expressed optimism on the development of the industry and for the empowerment of the youth.
So, apart from saving foreign exchange, they are doing a lot by keeping unemployment out of sight. So there are a lot of advantages in BOI just injecting funds into such ventures. Oh, there's a whole lot of difference, and there is a whole lot of good that the intervention of Bank of Industry is doing in this sort of enterprise.
As a concerned financial institution committed to the growth of macro, small and medium-scale enterprises, the Bank of Industry reduced its rate from 10% to 8% in order to give room for more industry players to have access to capital.
Like you said, we have Fitch, rating, we have Moody's rating, and these are done annually. Auditors are KPMG, so there are many areas of control, but more importantly, the bank has done well. We've grown the balance sheet. We've been able to do more interventions. Like they have said to us, well, you guys have done well, but you can do better. So we are taking the feedback and we're going to work on it.
The committee members, after a thorough review of the bank's financial performance for the year 2020, encouraged the bank to sustain the momentum. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
And with the growing concerns of dwindling revenues and efforts by President Muhammadu Buhari's administration to explore other avenues to create wealth, the Industrial Training Fund, ITF, has taken the challenge of lifting more Nigerians out of poverty. The fund made this known at a media parley in Obukuru, Jos. Caleb Gushin reports.
Four of these facilities set up by ITF for the Agripreneurship Training Program revealed that the fund encourages young people to be self-reliant.
The ITF has over the years continued to pursue its mandate of training Nigerians for employability and entrepreneurship.
Joseph Ari says in the last 4 years, 500,000 Nigerians have been trained in various skills. Despite the challenges posed by COVID-19 pandemic, the Director General hints that the fund has implemented the National Industrial Skills Development Program, Special Skills Program, Federal Government Skills Empowerment, and the Infotech Skills Program.
This year, which we have declared as the year of skills escalation for prosperity, we have commenced processes for the implementation of more skills intervention programs.
He expressed optimism that if the proposal before the relevant authorities is approved, the fund is capable of meeting government's resolve to lift 100 million Nigerians out of poverty.
We believe that until most Nigerians are equipped with competitive technical skills, we will as a nation continue to fight a losing battle against the blights of poverty and unemployment and their attendant consequences.
Most importantly, the contribution of ITF to the industrial development of Nigeria is quite unique, and I will encourage them to continue on that side.
In Jos, Caleb Gochin, NTA News.
With 20% of Nigerian soil being highly acidic, regulation of the practice of soil science for increased agricultural productivity and environmental sustainability in the country was slated for discussion at the Inception Workshop organized by the Office Cheriven de Phosphate, OCP Africa, in collaboration with the Nigeria Institute of Soil Science.
Nigeria is set to lose productive agricultural land every year, especially in the north, due to desert encroachment, which affects food production. The workshop, jointly organized by the OCP Africa, a Moroccan company that produces fertilizer, and Nigeria Institute of Soil Science, is looking into the problematic soil and to come up with solutions. The production and technical manager of the OCP Africa sees enhanced crop productivity as either through addition of soil amendments to correct the anomalies or by manipulating their agronomic practices.
We have signed an MOU with Nigeria Institute of Soil Science to look at problematic soils in Nigeria and finding solutions to them so that we can continue to improve our agricultural productivity all over every place in Nigeria, in the north, in the south, in the north central, everywhere that we do farming activities.
We are working with OCP Africa. OCP Africa is a Moroccan-based fertilizer company. They've shown so much interest. It's very impressive. They are going to make materials that are needed to address these soils available at very low price.
Bridging education gap by providing information to farmers is also noted as a solution.
We are all aware that the areas of land available for farming in the country is not increasing because of the heavy pressure on land for many non-agricultural purposes as a result of a rapidly growing population.
My committee will continue to collaborate with the NISS and OCP to make laws that will positively impact on agricultural growth and development in Nigeria.
The workshop is seen by experts as part of a sustainable solution that will improve food production in Nigeria.
Let's take a short break now. In our next segment, all is set for the farming season in some states. Please stay with News Extra.
The second wave of the coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic is upon us.
To safeguard lives of our people, the government has signed the health protection regulations, which makes wearing a face mask mandatory in public places.
Wear a mask. Keep social and physical distancing. Avoid crowded places. Wash your hands regularly with soap and clean water. And use hand sanitizer.
COVID-19 is real. Do not be infected. Do not spread it. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA.
Nigerian youths are about the greatest assets the country has at the moment. It is therefore not surprising that the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari is strategically responding to the yearnings of the youth through multiple projects and programs. Youth entrepreneurship support years by Bank of Industry, the Youth Investment Fund by the CBN, and several other conditional cash transfer programs. Recruitment of 774,000 social workers, majority of whom are youth, and so many other projects that are beneficial to youths directly or indirectly. If the administration can do all this, definitely with a degree of patience and time, it can achieve more. Nigerian youths must come together to say no to terrorism, no to vandalism, and no to all disruptive tendencies. Hashtag Youth for Greater Nigeria. Pacifying the youths, unifying the nation.
Although social media as a channel of communication is inherently harmless, it becomes harmful and damaging when used without discretion and thoughtfulness. Bad social media users spread rumors and fake news without verification. But good social media users stop, reflect, and verify information before sharing it. Be a good social media user. Stop the spread of fake news. Verify the authenticity of your source and use social media responsibly for a better Nigeria. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, in collaboration with the National Orientation Agency.
Great to have you back. All signs are here indicating time is ripe for the commencement of the 2021 farming season. In Jigawa State, both farmers and government are preparing to have a fruitful farming season. Mohamed Musa Askari reports that the agrarian state is leveraging on both federal and state government farming support programs to have a bumper harvest.
Culture continues to grow from strength to strength in Jigawa State. It is no longer a subsistence farming as usual. Citizens in the agrarian states are now practicing agriculture for profit. Preparations of farmlands have since begun across the state ahead of the 2021 rainy season. The farm input support from the federal and the state governments over the years have not only changed the economic status of the governments and people of the state, but also brought a paradigm shift in the entire agricultural value chain.
The truth is, government at all levels have contributed towards uplifting the standard of farming in the state. Because a farmer who cannot produce enough to feed himself is now producing what 30 people cannot consume.
Buhari administration has supported us with fertilizer, agrochemicals, among many others, which have boosted production per hectare in Jigawa State.
Governor Muhammadu Badru Abubakar, whose top priority is agriculture, is strategizing to take the sector to the next level. To make this a reality, the governor has procured about 150 conventional working tractors that will be distributed to the Laki farmers with a view to mechanize the process of farming in the state.
What we are really hoping is to be fully mechanized, and that will help in reducing cost of production for farmers, and that will make production faster, and the younger generation that wouldn't want to engage in drudgery form of agriculture will now mechanize and do agriculture.
With these farm implements, Jigawa may beat Kebbi State, especially in the production of rice and wheat, among others. This is the sixth time Governor Muhammadu Badru Abubakar is procuring tractors among other critical farm inputs for farmers in the state, with a view to boost the sector and secure economic independence for the state through agriculture. From Dutse, Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
When you fail to plan, you have already planned to fail. There is no disputing that maxim. That is why women in agriculture in Bayelsa State are gearing up to effectively harness the federal government's Agric Loan and Grant Scheme initiative through the central bank. To this end, women farmers cooperatives are being sensitized to be properly positioned to key into current initiatives. The report.
Culture remains the backbone of the Nigerian economy, being the largest contributor to the nation's gross domestic product, GDP. With President Buhari's vision to ensure food for all Nigerians, Bayelsa Women Cooperative Federation Alliance seek to train, mentor, and encourage women to engage in agriculture, which will enable them boost food production in the country. In line with this, the Bayelsa Women Cooperative Federation Alliance engaged over 700 cooperative female farmers in Bayelsa State in a two-day sensitization program on how farmers can successfully utilize grants and loan facilities from the federal government to boost their participation in agriculture.
And we are assuring them anything that comes out, they are going to get their own share.
When you retire as a civil servant or a businesswoman, there's somewhere you will fall back at. And cooperative is that platform that can help you because it's a continuous business.
What has failed in the past is that we've not had this monitoring mechanisms on ground. So most times you see people get whatever assistance they get, whether from government or developmental partners, and they end up not making a good use of it because they know that nobody is following up on them. But this group, it is not so.
When you empower a woman, you empower a woman.
Members of the cooperative express happiness that the cooperative will help them contribute their quota in ensuring food security and revenue generation. In Yenegua, Baratwaipre Awi, NTA.
Chairman Nigerians in the Expert Commission, Abike Dabiri Erewa, has congratulated Abia State for being the first state in Nigeria to have its own Expert Commission. In a statement by the head of Media and Public Relations, Abdulrahman Balogun, the NITCAM boss expressed her appreciation to the Abia parliamentarians and the governor of the state, Governor Ekezi Ikpeazu. The NITCAM chairman urged other states to emulate Abia State pledging the Commission's platform to tap into the enormous human resources of Abians in diaspora for rapid development. And now to sports. Super Eagles intensified training ahead of Saturday's game against Benin Republic. Details on Sports Update.
Welcome to Sports Update. Super Eagles players are talking tough ahead of their 2021 Africa Cup of Nations